Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports with myself, Liam Jenkins, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in the world of Philadelphia sports. Again, quick disclaimer, as you can tell, I don't sound like a 13-year-old girl right now. I think I'm getting sick. Throat is extremely sore right now, so please try and grin and bear this. I literally sound like a Dalek. Exterminate. Is that going to stop me from bringing you guys This Week in Philadelphia Sports? Favourite thing to record on this channel? The answer is absolutely not. If you are new to this channel, guys, if you enjoy this sort of content, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and drop your opinions in the comments on the stuff we discuss. It's only right that we start with the Philadelphia Eagles, who finally opened training camp. Training camp is back, the sun is shining, the pads are on, Cravon the Blanc's injured. Now, many of you will know I've got a bit of an emotional attachment to Cravon LeBlanc, Captain Cravon, as I like to call him. So this news for me was probably worse than my last breakup. LeBlanc missed a practice on Friday, the day after his birthday, and shortly after, the team signed a young cornerback, an undrafted guy by the name of Alex Brown, but it was the move one day later that caught many by storm. 32-year-old cornerback Orlando Scandrick worked out for the team on Saturday and signed a contract later that afternoon. It was then announced by Ian Rappaport that LeBlanc has suffered a foot sprain and will be out for a few weeks. So this move to sign Scandrick didn't come as a surprise. I said that in the Training Camp Diaries video yesterday. If you look at the Eagles cornerback picture right now, Jalen Mills is still on the PUP list, Ronald Darby is yet to partake in full team activities, and now Cravon LeBlanc's injured. The undrafted guy they signed out of South Carolina State, he's a nickel cornerback. Scandrick at 5'11", he's a nickel cornerback. He has been for the majority of his career. He's coming off a season in Kansas City where he started 7 times, appeared in 15 games, and set a career high in passes defense. So even though he's going to be behind Sidney Jones on the depth chart, the fact that you bring in someone who can start in a pinch and produce in a pinch with close to 10 years worth of NFL experience on his resume, it's cheap, it's cheerful, you can't complain, it's going to do the job. Sort of like when you're doing your weekly food shop and you know you can't be bothered to put yourself through a 3-course meal, so you head to the reduced aisle, pick up a nice, nearly out of date pasta bacon, go, yeah, that'll do the job. A lot of people are comparing this move to the Patrick Robinson one. I don't think that's the case at all, though. Robinson was originally signed to be an outside cornerback. Where he shined, though, was in Indianapolis as a slot guy. If it wasn't for the signing of Ronald Darby, he would have been left outside being torched by Alshon Jeffrey, which is what was happening beforehand. But that decision to trade for Ronald Darby sent Robinson into the nickel, where he then thrived, as he did in 2015, as he then did last year as well. So that kind of catalyst sparked the whole thing. But I think with this move for Scandrick, he's going to be one of the older guys in the locker room, a vet to the younger guys on the roster. And as of right now, if the Eagles do want to take Avonte Maddox and move him to safety, which is what safeties coach Tim Houck said before training camp, at least to experiment with it during the preseason, you're not going to have the depth there to do that if Mills is out, if Darby is out. And it does raise some concerns over Jalen Mills as well. Is his injury more serious than we let on? Is he going to be ready for the start of the season? That's a whole different debate, and one I'm sure we'll get into. But as of right now, my heart's with Captain Cravon. It's day 3. I'm handling it pretty badly. I don't know what to do. I feel a bit lost. I just want Captain Cravon back. I just want him to If you want to keep up to date with everything happening at training camp, though, I'm doing a daily video that recaps all of the happenings from the NovaCare complex. After every practice, there'll be a video on this YouTube channel. And hey, I may even sound like this as well, but we've done one for the first 2 practices. We're of course going to do them as practices go on. Oh, but on that note, as if it wasn't enough for Cravon LeBlanc to get injured, they waived Anthony Rush. You know, the defensive tackle I thought I saw some value in as a big, meaty guy, a space-eating defensive tackle that can swallow up double teams, allow those defensive. He's gone. He's out of the picture, so we're in a rush to find some cornerback. I'll leave now. The main takeaways from the first few days of camp, though, are that Halapoulivaati Vaitai is currently your starting right guard. Brandon Brooks, of course, still nursing injury. It looks as though he's won that role over Stefan Wisniewski, which in itself is puzzling. My bold take for this offseason. I've said this for a while now. I don't think Wiz is going to make the roster. He's now a backup centre behind Jason Kelce. He's struggled with snapping the ball over the last few days. And the Eagles have guys like Anthony Fabiano and Keegan Render. And Wisniewski's had a real fall from grace. He was a starter in Super Bowl 52. Couldn't get the contract extension he wanted. Was the starting left guard in 2018. Benched midway through the season, didn't really know why, and kicked off. I don't blame him. Then doesn't get another deal that he wants. He returns as a late free agent signing to the team, and now he's kicked inside as a backup centre. So I feel like there is a real chance Wiz doesn't make this roster, or if he does, it's just a backup behind Kelce. The other hot news though is that Carson Wentz, aside from their latest day of practice, has started red hot. He's been linking up with Deshaun Jackson himself. Aguilar, Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Ertz all stayed behind after practice yesterday to get in some extra work, which speaks volumes. But aside from that, Wentz has been looking extremely good, and that link to Deshaun Jackson, as I said before, looks red hot. And that's not the only thing, because you can get Philly Sports Network merchandise even with a dodgy throat. I can't get that high, but I'm trying for this video, so just let me have this moment. If you want to look red hot as well, you can get yourself Philly Sports Network merchandise. We've got t-shirts, we've got long sleeves, and of course we've got the signature flight tag hoodie. If you want to cop any of this, guys, link down in the description below. Cut me some slack. This is really hard on my voice. If you can show some support, be really appreciated. I struggle. Oh my god. On to the Philadelphia Flyers, who did nothing. They did nothing. They didn't. They existed. I wish the same could be said for the Philadelphia Phillies, who were going into their most crucial series of the season. A series against the Atlanta Braves. They were down by so many games, but the resurrection has happened. They had won 7 of the last 10. The Braves had lost 6 of the last 10, and the Phillies were clawing and scratching and climbing their way back up the MLB standings. They're one back of the Washington Nationals. Surely there was life. Surely Kapler has figured it out, and this Phillies team in heroic fashion was going to go all the way. So let's just see the scores. Let's see how they did. They lost 15-7 and 9-2. I haven't got anything else to say. That might be the most disappointing weekend since my 21st birthday. A birthday in which LJ was told by his friends they would book a weekend in London. I'm from a small town 5 hours away. They would book a weekend in London. The hype was real. We would be suited, we would be booted, we would be going into casinos and making it rain, and it would be sick. It would be the best weekend. What did we do? We watched a League 2 team play football, lose, stayed 30 minutes outside of somewhere not London, in fact 3 hours away from London, and that was that, really. Well done, Phillies. Aaron Nola faces Kevin Gausman tonight, which I'm sure is going to be fun. But this series was likely going to dictate what the Phillies did at the trade deadline, which now is likely to be nothing. So there's that. On to the Sixers, and I just want to take the time to say Mike Scott is a national hero. An absolute national hero. What did the world do to deserve Mike Scott? A guy that comes into Philadelphia and clicks with this fan base better than anyone I can ever remember, ever. Not only is the guy going for races with fans, he's now crashing their weddings, he's meeting them at clothing stores, he's signing merchandise, he's taking pictures, he's agreeing to all these cool things to be a part of the culture in Philadelphia, and that is just the best thing. Like, what a guy. Sixers also signed a backup point guard in the way of Trey Burke, and I'm a huge fan of that move. As someone that has proven he can be a scorer when needed, he shot 46% of three-point attempts since being traded to Dallas, and although he is a backup point guard, he shot 40% of catch-and-shoot opportunities in 3 of his last 4 seasons, which I think is pretty good. And if there's one thing the Sixers need, 3-point shooting. So I think you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Burke is going to be a guy that we know late in games the Sixers will be up by 73. They'll be 3 minutes into the 4th quarter and somehow they're down by 6. So a move like Trey Burke, someone that can score in a pinch, that can dictate the offense, and more importantly just put points on the board from range, is absolutely vital to the growth of this bench. Elton Brand has focused massively on the bench depth, something which stung the team last year. That won't happen again, and I'm all for it. And finally, the Philadelphia Union, who have been top of the Eastern Conference for quite some time, they've been red hot, and they failed to make an impact in Montreal. They lost 4-0 to the Impact, which isn't great by any means, but they are still top of the Eastern Conference by 3 points over Atlanta, so maybe, just maybe, there is hope yet left for the Union. There's a long way to go. They've worked really hard to get to this point. It's just a case of getting out of that mid-season slump and continuing down the path of lots of goals, lots of glory, and maybe, just maybe, the first piece of silverware in the team's history. But if you're not down at the River End, make sure you are going down there because it's a lot of fun. It's soccer, I'm British, and the Charlton Athletics season starts next week. So for all you guys needing a UK soccer team, that is your team. I've decided it for you, no debates. But that is it for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Guys, thank you for persevering with my shot voice. I really appreciate it. For all of the support over the last couple of weeks, it's meant the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me at Liam Jenkins PSN. I'll see you next time.